And next up on my Steam library, I'm playing The Magic Circle. Now, The Magic Circle is a first-person story adventure game. You play a character who's in an unfinished fantasy game called The Magic Circle. And right there, I think you could tell this isn't your normal game. This breaks the fourth wall all over the place. The fourth wall is completely demolished in this game. So you start off and you're playing this game and you start hearing the developers arguing and discussing, and you come across like placeholder graphics and unfinished bits of environment and such. And it soon turns out that you are this character in this unfinished game, and you're trying to recreate the game yourself from the inside. It's got an incredible story, which is acted out really well by the main voice actors, and you follow it along, and your jaws just always dropping at the things it's getting you to do. It's really quite crazy. Now, the main gameplay mechanic in the game is, really early on, you're completely stripped of any combat abilities whatsoever, in a little argument between the developers. And the only way you can interact with the environment is you have the ability to edit things that are in the game. You can edit like the creatures and parts of the environment. And when you do so, you can take their abilities, their behaviors, and give them to other creatures. So let me just give you a quick example. Like the first creature you come to, the only thing you can do, you fire this like circle and it traps a creature. That's like what you can do. And once a creature's trapped, you can edit it. So you look at its behaviours, and it will say how it gets about, what sort of mode of transport it uses, whether it flies or goes on the ground or what. So you can take that, and that means then it can't move. You can it will say what its attack is, how it attacks, whether it's ranged or melee or fireball or whatever, and you can strip it of that. So now it means it can't attack. And it'll say like what its enemies are and what its allies are, and you can tell it to no longer be an enemy to you. You are called the hero in the game. So where it says enemies the hero, you can take that off, and where it says allies, you can give it the hero attribute as its ally. So now it will work for you, and you can then obviously give it back its movement and its attack abilities. And as you find more and more creatures in the world, you collect these behaviors, and you can give them to any other creatures you find. So the key part of the game is finding these new behaviors, because some of them are necessary to be able to continue. Like some, you need to find a teleport behavior or a flight behavior to be able to give to a creature to get you from one place to another that you couldn't get before. It's really very original. I've never seen anything like it, and it comes up with some really quite inventive environmental puzzles for you to solve, all without doing any actual combat yourself. And all the while you're hearing the interaction between the three main developers of the game and another character called the Old Pro. And this guy is a character from their previous game that they also didn't finish, which sometimes you slip into in the environment, which is an old 90s sort of Doom style sci-fi corridor shooter, and sometimes you're in this style of game as well, and this character is from that game that didn't get finished. So I won't say anything more about the story towards the end, but there's a great deal to it at the end, and like I say, it's really quite inventive. So I really had a good time playing this, and it's basically one great big games industry in joke. So if you follow the games industry, and if you like the games industry, and you read up on stuff, it is one big in joke of the games industry. Its full price is $14.99, but I've just bought it on a sale for $4.49, 70% off. $14.99 probably is a little too much, given that I beat it in like 5 hours. There is some replayability to it. Definitely, you could replay. Definitely towards the end, there's stuff you might want to do again, but 5 hours worth of gameplay. Well, when I saw it for 70% off, I snapped it up. So yeah, that £4.49 price. So if you ever see it in a sale, pick it up. That sort of low price. So yeah, I really highly recommend it. The Magic Circle, it's a really fun game and a really original and innovative design and sort of core gameplay loop.